It's time to switch our attention to our upcoming Fireside chat, which will be on optimizing digital experience with marketing and commerce insights. By means of this sessions, experts will discuss how marketers and e-commerce professionals can leverage marketing and commerce information to improve their consumers' digital experiences across many channels, such as emails, websites, and mobile applications, in order to keep them coming back for more. So without further ado, let's call on our Fireside chat speakers up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hands. Sorry, in applause for Pansee Mousa, who is marketing coordinator at Specialized Medical Center Hospital, and Masrur Haq, founder of Dynamic.RE.
Yeah, it's pretty, the light is very strong.
It's a lot brighter up here.
Yeah, very bright.
So that talk was actually a really good segue to what we're talking about. And they talked a lot about brand, they talked a lot about ROI, but we are talking about the digital experience. And so why is the digital experience important?
Well, it's very important for multiple reasons, but like one of the major ones, everyone now have access to everything. Like if you need to find a place or you need to buy something, you just Google it. It's very easy. Everything is available online. Also, I feel like the competition is not anymore local. Like it's very global because you can buy anything from anywhere in the world. Also, one of the very main reasons, like people now are having much more high expectation. Did
I
you think
agree.
that? Yeah, like they want the perfect experience, they want the perfect quality and everything like very high expected. They don't want like the minimum anymore. They
Well,
want it
with
to be
more
perfect.
more people into the game and a lot more noise out there,
Yeah.
you really need to stand out, and that's why
Exactly.
you have to have higher expectations every round of it, right?
Exactly. It's getting very competitive with the like global competition because you're not competing no more with just the locals. No, like everyone is getting in the market, just one big market.
And that's kind of the funny part about return on investment, right? So they were talking about ad spend and how much ROI is coming in, but we're talking about more of the foundational base. So let's talk about what is the digital experience. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I want to explain the difference between UX, CX, and DX because like most often they get very confused together. So UX is basically when a consumer has an interaction with a specific product or a specific website or so, while CX it's looking at the overall experience of the whole experience with the brand, including the websites, including the products. Like it's more an overall look at it. And the DX, it's probably more of like getting both two, the UX and the CX together on the digital world. So I like to look at it in terms of circles. So this is the UX, it's the small one, and then the one bigger than it is the CX,
The
and then
customer.
like the one that's including both of them is the DX.
And so they were talking about end to end, and we really have to understand the entire life cycle of our customers. So thinking about the customer journey and thinking about how they're interacting with us based on an ad versus how they're interacting with us when they go on our websites and go through their customer experience, making sure that user experience, that customer experience is formatted correctly and optimized correctly, right? So what do you think the three pillars of DXO are?
Well, the first very major one is we need to understand customers. Like right now, everyone should be customer centric. If you're not putting the customer at the center of your strategy, you're not doing the right thing. Like people need to feel that this was actually made specially for them and not just made for a random group of people. So understanding the customer, which is the things that we're going to be talking about mostly today, using the insights. You need to use the insights to understand the customer, understand the changing that they're undergoing, and like this is the major thing. The second thing, we have to be very agile. So in this world, there's a lot of changes happening, and it's very frequent and it's very quickly. So if we're not agile and we're not very having like quick responses, it's not gonna work. And like concerning this pillar, you need to be very confident, and this comes again from using the insights. So when you're using the insights, you're very confident that the things that you're or the decisions that you're taking, it's the right one. So you get to be the first mover. If you're not using the insights, you're not gonna have the confidence, and you're not gonna be quick enough, and most probably you're not gonna like be on the top of the brands like in your competition or so.
And going back to the customer journey, we really have to meet them where their stages are and understand exactly. One of the ladies earlier was talking about having personalized and customized content,
Yeah.
because everybody has a different questions that they're trying to answer, and so you really have to understand what questions they're trying to answer, what stage of the life cycle they're in, and what's the actual solution that they're looking for, and being able to optimize for that accordingly.
True. But what do you think? Like, is personalization now a thing? Like, is it really important or not?
Yeah, I mean, we went from you go from traditional lead magnets like ebooks into like a quiz funnel. Now we're able to create, a little bit more personalization
Yeah.
at scale as well. And it's having a strategy with that to be able to implement accordingly. But you really have to understand the entire end-to-end life cycle of that customer.
Exactly,
Where
like
where are they
start to
coming
end.
from and where are they going? And then, kind of hone in on their entire lifetime value.
Exactly, it's true, because like you can't just stop at like when they just buy your product and be satisfied by that. You need to be with the customer even after the sale. It's like a whole journey. Like you said, it's an end-to-end one. So if you're not considering what the customer needs after the sale, probably the retention rate is going to be like very low, and the lifetime value is going to be very low. Again, the revenue will like go down probably.
And the COVID world that we lived through really
Yeah.
changed
The
exactly
COVID
what kind of
world.
and put a lot on the table for what our competition is doing, how they're succeeding, and what they're doing to be able to change in the new market, because it really put some pressure into how things were being done before, right?
Well, I like to look at the COVID thing in a positive way, because I feel like many companies were forced to just go online, because other than that they won't be operating. So when they did that, I feel like it opened opportunities for the digital world, because everyone was forced to it, and by that many people were convinced about like, oh, we can operate online. It's not like we thought, no, we can't operate online, it's way too advanced. So some people got very convinced, and right now they're still using the online thing and the digital thing. They did not shut it down after like the COVID just vanished.
And what good is the marketing spend if that customer experience and that customer journey is flawed? I try to buy some thermals. We're going on a trip to Toronto and it's cold. We try to buy some thermals, and when we picked the item, we got to the shipping stage and it was out of stock. So I'm like, why are you showing me the item and not telling me that it's out of stock by the time I get to the shipping page, right? That's not fair. So that broke my customer experience, and I don't think I'll shop there again knowing that was broken.
Exactly. So like technical errors are some of the major reasons why people don't really prefer the digital experience. So again, like you're saying, if there are errors, or like there are some dysfunctionalities or so, people are not gonna feel like the digital experience is more fun and it's more time or less time consuming. So this is why we go back again. We have to optimize the digital experience, because by looking at the customer needs and understanding the customers, you can be able to tailor the product. You can be able to tailor like the digital experience and everything, and avoid those like technical errors, to not make people feel pressured using online and not feeling the confidence. Like probably you felt you do not trust it anymore. Like, why
It's
would I
broken
trust?
now.
Yeah,
I'm not.
probably,
I'll go find.
exactly.
We went and found it somewhere else. They
Exactly.
lost the sale.
Yeah.
And going back to that, it really changed the perspective of how everything is getting done as well, because everything's done like we were doing it on the phone on the drive here, right? And so like everything has to be mobile friendly. Everything has to be optimized that accordingly, because it's changed how people utilize and use our products and services at this point.
Yeah, actually, like studies have been done, and like in 2021, like more than 90% of like the digital population are accessing the internet from the mobile phone. And if we get more into like the shopping experience or so, it's actually more than 72% people are shopping online, and they prefer to shop online because they say it saves their time. So like what you're saying is exactly true. People need to tailor their content to be mobile friendly. And like if you do not have an app, you have to include app in your strategy. If your content is just better for like website or like PC view, you have to tailor it to be like friendly with the mobile view basically. Because if you do not do that, less people are going to be viewing your content, because like more people are now on the phone. So it needs to be it needs to be like vertical. It needs to be appealing for the content, like for the phone view and everything. So yeah, I think like if companies are not integrated to that, it's not gonna work, because like we said, 90% of the like internet users are accessing it through the phone basically.
And then another insight we wanted to talk through was reviews and online reviews, and really how much of an impact they make on the purchasing process for customers as well. And that has to be built in through your customer experience, so they actually have that understanding where other people have actually enjoyed it as well. That may like how many people actually look at reviews before they buy something?
Actually, they say that like 90% of people don't even make the purchase before reading online reviews. So like, and this is especially for the retail. So you can see like most of the retail websites, they're integrating the online reviews, and if they're not, probably they're not one of the big names, because it's beginning to become a very, very like vital part. Because I'm not gonna do the purchase, even myself, and I believe like how many people do not like purchase before reading the reviews? Like shows hands. Probably, exactly, only one. But other than that, everyone reads the reviews. It's vital now. And actually, 91 of millennials trust online reviews just like as if like a friend is telling me, oh, it's a good product, just buy it. So everyone is trusting online reviews, and like it's not only good for people to purchase. Companies are now using the online reviews just to tailor the products. So they filter out the reviews and see like if there's a repetitive negative comments on a certain thing in a product, and they tailor that to better basically offer better products and everything. So I feel like companies need to integrate online reviews if they're not doing that already, and they need to use it to like produce better products and offer better services. It's very vital right now. I feel like, do you even like do a purchase without reading online reviews, or even book a hotel without reading?
I don't want to be the first one.
Exactly.
I want to know what I buy makes sense, and it made sense for other
like
people
coming
first.
Here, I read tons of reviews before like booking a hotel or like booking a transportation or so. So it's beginning to be very important.
So now going to that, like, it's funny because, even when we look at reviews, it's what's pertinent for us, right? When I look at reviews and I'm reading a bunch of reviews, I actually take a couple of the reviews that actually answer the question that I'm looking for. Like we have an Asian household, and there was a vent fan that we were looking for our home remodel, and one of the reviews said, I'm an Asian family, and this vent fan works well. That sold me, because I knew that he knew what my problem was.
Exactly. One of the very interesting like facts that I found, that men usually look at like the literal reviews, or like the ones that are written in like words. While women actually look at the pictures, which makes lots of sense, because whenever I'm buying like a dress or a t-shirt or so, I don't even read the reviews. I just, where are the pictures of the real products? So I felt like I really can relate to that. It was very interesting.
And it goes back to the personalization that, that is just as much of the part of the customer journey and what their digital experience is like. Because we relate to two different things just on stage, and imagine that to an entire mass population. Like, you really have to personalize how their customer journey is going to feel as they go through the process.
Actually, this gets us to the whole like personalization, because people now, they're not just looking on the online reviews. They care more about feeling connected to the brand. They just don't want to buy something that they feel like everyone has it, everyone like wants it. Didn't you think about that?
Yeah, and it's funny. The gentleman earlier was saying, as a marketing agency, we do a lot for how we can create success for our clients, and how we don't do it for our own companies. And that makes a lot of sense, because you go back to kind of understanding exactly what that personalization aspect is and what that partnership mentality looks like, and really be able to create a process that makes sense for both people, and understand the foundational differences to create the best way forward.
Like the market right now, it's not about like just producing something and selling it. It's more of like what is this person like what this person needs or wants, and then building the product based on that.
And having like a personal experience with it.
Exactly,
And that's, especially we talked about one of, a few of the challenges is there's so many more people out there. There's so much more noise out there. And really the only thing that your competitors can't recreate is how much of a personal experience that you can create.
True, because I feel like people are looking more at the personalization factor more than the product. So like I might have the same product in two brands, but this one probably like write my name on the package. Like thank you for making this purchase, Pansee. So I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna pay more just to have my name written on the package. And actually studies has proven that this is actually correct. Like more than 70% they care about having like personalized product, and if it's impersonal, they won't make the purchase. And even like more than 90%, they prefer to pay more for personalized products or even packaging. So it was very interesting to know that as well. And this has actually reflected on companies. So companies or brands which integrated personalization into their strategy, their ROI tripled, and like their brand loyalty, it increased by 28%, and their revenues increased by 15%. So it's actually effective like in like trying it or like practical.
And it's funny. So on a bigger scale to that, customers care about companies and brands that do what they care about as well. So things like having personalized solutions, and also on a bigger scale, if you're doing donations or nonprofit activity and things like that, if those things are involved in a sustainability aspect, people resonate with that stuff. They follow into that stuff. So they actually relate more to the things that they care about, and some of those aspects really fall in line with that.
Well, it makes sense. So let's say if you and I were talking, and we know that like just by talking we knew that both of us love cats, for example, we're gonna feel more connected, and we're gonna have like something more in common, and probably we'll have like multiple more conversation going
Exactly.
on.
We have more to relate on.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
You'll feel more connected basically because
I can't talk about cats. Just FYI.
You don't? I have to, like, they're my babies, so I can't relate to that. It's fine.
We can talk about marketing.
All right, we're gonna keep it to the marketing.
But that makes sense. So brands that do things or are involved with things that their clients and their customers also love and care about is just another avenue of marketing. But that's also part of the entire customer and user experience as well. It's not just their digital experience, because they can see that stuff that you're doing, like for Thanksgiving, if you're volunteering and things like that, they see that stuff, and that's just another connection point.
Yeah, well, people like to feel good about themselves. So basically, if I'm buying something and they tell me, oh, by buying this you're donating 10% to like a certain charity, I just feel like I'm a better person. I'm buying something for myself for my amusement, but at the same time I'm helping like someone else. So actually also studies have proved that like 90% of people, they really care about what their companies care about and what they support, and like 2/3 of them are willing to pay more to companies that support the similar things that they are supporting, even if it's the same product in like two brands. So it's I feel like it's very vital now that people, like brands, integrate CSR into their strategy, because it's becoming very important.
Well, and it needs to be a part of their talk process, and understand that that's what their clients want. So it makes it easier to do everything all the way around if it's a part of your strategy.
Exactly, yeah, it's true.
So as a marketer, as sales, as a business owner, there's a lot of things that, some of the KPIs that we look for, whether it's newsletter signups, whether it's revenue and products and services being sold, things like that. There's a lot of things that we're trying to achieve, but how does all of that stuff flow into the customer experience, and what are some pain points? One of the things that we talked through as far as the pain points in the customer experience, like those pop-ups that come up all the time. Like,
Yeah.
we really have to navigate all of those little things as well to make sure that we keep our clients happy, from the start.
Exactly. So like one of the or some of the major pain points that like consumers get frustrated by are the pop-ups, like you said, like the very slow page like load times. If it's the website, it's way too complex to navigate, and like the purchase process is way too long, and you're asking too many questions and too many details. They don't feel I just log out, I'm not going to complete the purchase. And we go back to the privacy that was like it was discussed pretty much today, and about the cookies. People are right now concerned about their privacy pretty much, and like 47 of 18 plus respondents, they don't really give access to like what is it called, like tracking along the
Yeah.
other applications. They don't give that, and 31% they just change their social media settings to be
Policies.
more private. Yeah, like do not know the location and all the more like privacy, which makes sense because right now they're canceling the cookies. So like people are getting more private and feeling less secure. So I feel like brands need to make the whole process more privacy centric, because maybe by that they will be able to make the consumers feel more secure. Maybe by like creating communities. So if you create communities, it's a two-way, like a win-win situation, because you are getting the information in a way that the consumer feel comfortable and feel like more safe. If I'm in a community, I connect to everyone in it, I'll be more willing to share more information about myself, and like the brand on the other end will be able to collect more information and more insights, and thus tailor the products and the services more. And again, better product, better services, higher ROI, higher revenue. So I feel like this
And
could be a
communities provide a lot of benefits because, communities, people, and content are the things that we're always after. And communities provide content, to no
Yeah.
to n degree. Like, you can get as much content as you want out of your
Exactly,
community. It's
exactly.
user generated, but those are also what people are looking for. Anything that's user generated, and even in traditional marketing with our cell phones and videos and YouTube, people like just normal user generated stuff. They don't want the polished stuff as much as well. And so that's all part of the whole thing. And they're giving up a lot of privacy and security just by doing it off their phones, but that tells you their comfort level on that kind of side.
Well, this like got something onto my mind. Like right now, people are using more, or like brands are using more of the unknown influencers, more of like
The micro
yeah,
influencers,
exactly.
yeah.
They're not using the celebrities anymore. They're using the like micro influencers because people can relate more to that. So if I see a girl like my age and like not very popular, and she's living like a normal life, and then she recommends me a certain product, I'll feel more connected to that. I'll believe her more. But if like a huge celebrity, she's saying, "Oh, this product is amazing," I'm not gonna relate to that. Even if I'm gonna get it just because like she's a celebrity, so I'll look cool, I'm not gonna relate to that on a like a deeper level. So I feel like this also it's
It
also
kind of
very
pulls in
important.
all the scenarios of reviews and
Exactly.
all of that stuff as
So
one
again,
thing.
like feeling very connected and very real, and like it's very important now for people to connect with brands.
So what are some other problems with the customer service aspect of things? How can we make sure that our customer journeys are fluid and make, like going back to my shopping experience, we can't have, having those technical errors are things that we have to
Yeah.
absolutely avoid. And that's kind of what you meant by high expectations. Like,
Exactly.
I expect them to, like, if I click the button, that it works. Like,
Exactly. If it does not, I'm gonna be logging out. Sorry.
exactly. And that's for anything that we're selling, whether it's paid or, lead generation scenarios. Like, you want it to work. If I'm showing interest, you want to make sure that I get the value that I need to make sure that I can come back and keep getting the values that I need. And I know that you'll provide them. And that's a huge part of the customer experience. Even as basic as it is, we can't have broken links or scenarios like that because that changes it. You lose that integrity really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, and you lose the interest actually. So if it continues and keeping like getting technical errors, and it keeps on asking the same question every single time I make the purchase, I'm gonna get bored. Like this is why all the shopping websites, you just put your information once, and like going back again to buy again or make another purchase, the information is there. So they're trying to make like the purchase process shorter, because like we said in the beginning, people use the mobile phone mainly because it saves them time, and because like everyone now, they're on their phone on like wherever you are and whenever you are, you're on your phone. So purchasing through the phone makes it like shorter. So again, brands are making like any advancement just to make it even shorter by like only getting your information once, and that's it. You don't have to put it again. Yeah.
Yep. And also, a lot of this stuff gets solved by analytics as well. You should really be able to tell when people are dropping off their customer journeys, you know, what emails are being responded to, what links are being clicked. And that starts off at the beginning from when they first interact to the lifetime value, even after they've purchased. It doesn't end there. It keeps going, because you're not going to keep sending emails if they're not working, right? And especially if you see a sharp drop off in shopping cart abandonments, and now we know that there's a problem is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about like the customer journey, like you're saying. So I need to know where is the problem at which stage, and insights give me that. So I know why they stop, for example, at the cart. Is it because like extra shipping costs just appear out of nowhere?
Right.
Is it because the price changed after like they put it in the cart in the morning, and at night I'm trying to make the purchase and the price just doubled? So we need to know why they did not complete the purchase, and insights give us that, like either the social media insights or even like the third parties insights as well.
And problem solving is phase one. Phase two is really taking advantage of it and making sure that you can get that repeat and get that repeat as much as you can. And that's really what the goal should be. We shouldn't have to deal with problems. That's foundation. And you know, we talked about Netflix doing a really good job with their natural recommendations. That's why people watch Netflix for hours on end, is because of their recommendations. It's personalized. After they watch something, they get the next set of binge watching recommendations for the next 5 days.
Well, actually, it's true, because Netflix core strategy is based on the personalization factor. So because they know that people, when they watch something and then like something else comes up that's very relevant to what they just watched, probably they're gonna watch it because they're not searching, they're not wasting their time searching or losing the interest while searching. So it just pops up and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's very similar to like the genre that I really like to watch. So it's also based on that, and they use actually the insights to like
for
know
the recommendation,
exactly.
the algorithm.
And they also see what they previously watched. And like after recommending, they always do the A/B testing just to make sure that the recommendations are actually being watched. And if not, they need to go back to their insights and read it again to make sure that like what they're recommending is actually appealing to the consumers. But it's actually pretty interesting, because the whole experience about Netflix is personalization. Oh, because you watch that, we recommend you watch this and this and that.
Yeah, well, that's a core fundamental of their long-term success.
Yeah, and they even include your name in it. So, hi Pansee, because you watched this movie, we think you're gonna like that. So you feel more, oh, this is mine. It's not everyone's. So it's very personalized and very effective, actually.
And I mean, that's really how you can minimize churn and get the most bang for your buck, because you spent that much money to get the customer there in the first place. And if their experience falls halfway through their journey, then you're not maximizing their, you know, how much revenue that you can really make out of that.
Yeah, because, sure. No, continue.
And I was saying that's one of the biggest benefits of Netflix, because they keep you around. They know what you want, so they keep giving you what you want, so it's easy for them.
Yeah, this is what I was going to comment on, because if it's like one day I feel it's not personalized enough, I'm just going to cancel the subscription. I don't feel the same experience. The high expectation again.
And there's 10 different competitors.
Exactly. So it makes very sense.
You were telling me about another company as well for the commerce side.
So the shopping one, you mean? Yeah, so I don't know how many people know it, but it's Shein. So how many people, or ladies, probably know it? Yeah. So it's an e-commerce shopping platform, basically. This brand is very, very dependent on customer reviews. So whenever someone gets in there and they want to buy anything, like let's say a bag, they go through the reviews just to see what the color looks like in real life. Is it really this big as it's seen in the picture? Because usually it's much smaller than the picture. So actually, the best sellers are the ones with the most reviews, and when you get to buy it, it's usually out of stock with like 2,000 reviews
wait
or
list.
so. Yeah, and the ones that are there, it's okay, it's available. There's no reviews on it. So actually, Shein, it's based on the factor of customer reviews, because people don't trust it. If it's like there are no reviews,
They don't
probably
trust it.
it's not good. And if it's negative reviews, no one buys it at all. So I feel this is very again, it goes back to the importance of customer reviews online, and probably it's the most in retail, because other stuff, or probably also on like hotel booking and restaurants. I feel no, it's very relevant to the B2C sector. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the entire customer journey and meeting your clients and customers to what stage they're in and what questions that they have. And that goes to, whether it's from making a decision about buying a product or knowing what to watch next on Netflix. I have a different set of questions, and being able to answer those questions as quickly, efficiently, and effectively as possible is really what's going to keep me as a customer.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the biggest difference. And understanding that really helps you optimize your marketing spend, because that's one more dollar that you don't have to spend on ads.
Exactly.
just to keep that person.
Yeah, it's true. So I feel like those factors or especially the insights, they're letting companies know where to spend their money. So they're not just spending it anywhere. You know where the problem is exactly located, and you try to spend most of your money on it to fix that, and probably this will reflect positively on your revenue later on. So I feel like the whole insight thing is just affecting the ROI positively, and like the cost, it's getting lower, the marketing cost, because no one now is saying, oh, you're just spending money in like on random stuff. We have the statistics, we have the insights. I'm telling you, oh, we're gonna spend that because the consumer wants that, because we found that he or she are doing that using the insights.
Right.
So it makes lots of sense, actually.
And it's the more you do, the more you learn, and you have to be able to organize and aggregate that data, so that way it keeps building on for the next client or the next customer that's going to have something similar or similar question, and you just keep going on top of that, and you'll have a foundation and systems to be able to meet them at every stage.
That's true. That's true. Like going back to the hotel, probably someone looking for security. They will find someone. They're like, oh, someone got in the room while I'm in it, or so I put something in the safe, and when I got back there, it was open and the things were not there. So you'll find someone with an experience that you can personally relate to and identify whether that fits your needs or not. So it's very interesting, actually.
So that's what we have for our customer journey, and the digital experience. We'll welcome any questions as well if anybody has any. Anything else you want to talk through?
No, probably just I want to share one of the best practices for CSR. So everyone here knows Tom's, the shoes brand. So probably what I'm gonna say, they probably know it, but I just want to share it. So Tom's basically for every pair of shoes that you buy, they give away a pair of shoes like to charity or so. Which again, I know the I want to share the exact quote by the founder. He said, "We know every day that we're going to give away one pair of shoes for everyone we sell, and that. If we can't make the business work that way, the business just does not work." So I like that he just puts this as the core strategy for his business, and if it's not gonna work, I'm not gonna do it. So again, we go back to the fact that charity is very important and people feel good. Probably people buying from Tom's because there are lots of unknown brands that sell very, very similar shoes to Tom's, but they want to buy Tom's just because they feel good. I feel like I'm buying something for myself and I'm making someone else happy at the same time. So I feel like this is one of the great examples, actually.
And I think that's a good point. So something I hold dear is sustainability. And I think moving forward, I think one of the key differences that most businesses should integrate if they haven't is the core aspects of sustainability, and not just charity, not just donations, but what are ways that we can change and implement business and include other nonprofits and help other people grow while we do it, and that will take a huge leap forward moving forward, because people like helping other people, and if they're doing it while they're doing the same thing that they're going to do anyway, they love having that extra connection.
Exactly, like the extra thing. So like again, if I'm gonna buy shoes from somewhere, just that, and there's somewhere else that I will buy, but I'll be doing good, I'll probably choose that. Everyone will do that. I'm not paying extra, I'm not doing anything, I'm just buying the same thing with the same price, and or even if it's more expensive, but I feel like it's worth it. It's not just a piece of a product, they're giving more sentimental meaning to it. I feel even if it's a tangible thing, there's an like intangible feeling to it and value to it, I feel.
I agree, and on a business aspect of things, it gives more purpose behind it.
Yeah.
It gives more ability to do stuff, which the ability to do stuff is just another channel of marketing. And you're able to do more for other people, which gives you an excuse to do more for other people, which gives you an excuse for more people to know about you.
Exactly.
It's a win-win-win scenario all the way around.
It is. So, but it's very interesting actually, like the whole insights word drives me. Like it makes me very mesmerized that when you see something in the insights and then you translate it to a problem, and then you take this problem and the challenge and you just flip it to be an opportunity, it makes me like, wow, it's one of the things that I love about marketing. It's not just random, it's a whole process, and it's very like, it makes sense.
And if you can see it that way, you can navigate it accordingly.
Yeah, it makes it simple for marketers.
Right.
So.
If they just have to be able to see it that way and understand all the possible avenues to be able to maximize that accordingly.
Yeah, and like there was someone asking the previous panel, like how do we communicate what we're saying to, like, for example, the board of directors, because they don't really get if I'm telling, oh, I need to spend that because like this will drive more sales or so,
right.
But they go like, why? So I feel like the insights is the answer to the why. I can tell you, oh, it's because the consumer are not feeling comfortable about that. They don't like that. They do like this, so I need to do more of that. So I feel like the insights also help, like, the marketing department to communicate with the other departments of the company.
Well, and they were also talking about all these ad dollars went bad because of the messaging as well, and that goes back into the big picture of the brand and big picture of that entire customer journey, and really understanding your customers and exactly what they're messaging and where your brand should fit inside of their worlds makes a huge difference.
Yeah, this was very interesting because it's all about the coding. So if you're talking to a female and you're using, like, for example, a male figure, it's not gonna connect. So you can just get like a perfume for female. It's very far, but this is what I haven't had. So like, you can't get a perfume for female and put a guy in the ad. It's not gonna work, basically. So you have to find what's good for the consumer, and what's the coding and what's the messaging, like they were saying previously, that will actually translate to the consumer.
And that's all part of that digital experience, because they're not going to meet you physically otherwise. They're getting you from an Instagram ad or a Facebook ad, and they want to make sure that, number one, it's compelling, and number two, you flow through the entire journey understanding exactly what that product is, because we connected on it.
Yeah, because like when it was in store, you can connect with the customer, and you can ask them, like, did you like it? Did you not like it? You can see what's his first rated about, what he likes, what he does not like. But in the digital world, you're basically dealing with accounts or just names. So you need the insights to actually understand it. So it's basically as if you're dealing it on like offline or like not on the internet. But with the internet, it's the insights, basically. So
let the numbers tell you what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any questions at all? No? Oh, we'll just keep chatting.
Well, I think it's either we were very
sure.
Guys, thank you for that good presentation and good conversation. It's good to see the benefits that commercial insights provide, and especially the example of Tom providing that type of giving back campaign. So this is related to ESG. So it seems like there's a bigger focus for companies to invest more in ESG, related to something what Tom has already started. I guess my question is, based off of your experience, when should a company of its size should be considering to invest in such initiative as, investing in ESG programs could be a significant investment?
I don't think it has to do with the size of the business. I think it has to do with the brand and what their overall mission and goal is, because there's layers to it and there's levels to it, right? And so I think moving forward, B corporations are going to be more of it. B corporations weren't a thing 10 years ago, and now all of a sudden it's legitimized, right? And so that's a huge factor on the way that the market is moving, and incorporating a lot of those aspects of it really is what's going to move the needle. And when I say sustainability, and not just ESG specifically, but sustainability in itself, if things are unsustainable, you're not going to keep doing it. And so we have to think about ways where we can incorporate sustainability in everything that we do, and that becomes a part of like whether it's instilling ESG into your brand, and then how we instill ESG into our brand, that's up to you, but it has to be a sustainable and natural bridge to do it. But that goes back to the actual company and the brand and what messaging and where they want to sit in that marketplace. They can make those effective decisions today. Whether it's implementing partnerships with other brands or just sitting on a board of a nonprofit, like those are all different ways that have different layers of execution, and it doesn't matter what dollar amount that is.
Well, to add to that, I think like B2C companies, like most of B2Cs, they need to integrate somehow like some kind of ECG or CSR, because like people now are getting more aware about the environment and about like every other issues that we have going around the world. So I feel like if they're not integrating like some kind, even if it's like in a minimal like factor, but if you're not integrating, there's something wrong with it, because like everyone now cares about it. So if they found a substitute to you and they're selling the same product but they're doing CSR or ECG, they're probably gonna choose this brand. So like to be on the like better side of it, or like to be on the top, I feel like it's very vital for B2C, in my opinion.
And to add, like as marketers, one of our goals is to solve problems. And nonprofits and ESG are there's a litany of problems to solve, and so there's a lot of ways we can get involved, and there's no limit to that.
Lots of problems worldwide.
That's a good insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Well, I hope we're very clear, not very boring. So no questions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.